The world of The Witcher is now returning thanks to the big budget series coming to Netflix starring Henry Cavill as the grisly Geralt of Rivia. With the spotlight now back on the White Wolf, I've decided to take a look to see whether The Witcher 4 video game could happen, and we're doing it right now. Hey squad, Sykes here, and a kindly reminder that if you enjoyed this video, please make sure you leave a like, head over to InstallationX and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell for notifications of future uploads. Also squad, a reminder that there will be full spoilers for The Witcher 3 going into this video, so be careful. It's now been over 4 years since Polish developer CD Projekt Red released the critically acclaimed The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt based off of the novels written by Andrzej Sapkowski. There is no doubt that CD Projekt Red pulled it out of the bag with The Witcher 3, creating not only one of the greatest RPGs of all time, but possibly one of the greatest games of all time and definitely of this decade. The game has sold over 33 million copies and won over 250 Game of the Year awards. The developers were able to create an incredibly tense and diverse world full of life and character. Set in a complex world of medieval conflict and fantasy, CD Projekt Red were able to weave an incredible epic story that spans over 50 hours, and with multiple side quests, monster hunts and treasures to find, the game's content easily expands over 100 hours. The Witcher 3 is undoubtedly one of my favourite games ever, but what are the possibilities of a Witcher 4? Well, so far the information has been rather mixed to say the least, and there's a number of different paths we need to go down. The first is what CD Projekt Red are actually saying themselves. In an interview with Bankia.pl back in 2018, CEO Adam Sachinsky revealed that the developer would be moving to a dual franchise model, seemingly hinting at 2 ongoing projects. Now we know that one of those projects is Cyberpunk 2077, which is due to release on current consoles and PC in April 2020. Quote, "The first 3 Witcher games were by definition a trilogy, so we simply could not name the next game The Witcher 4, Sachinsky said. This does not mean, of course, that we will leave the world of The Witcher. Created by us for over a dozen years, The Witcher is one of 2 franchises on which to build the future activities of the company." Now we know that CD Projekt Red isn't ready to leave the Witcher world behind. The developers created such a good, masterful minigame in The Witcher 3 known as Gwent that they were able to release a whole entire spin-off from it. Gwent, the Witcher card game, was released on consoles back in December of 2018, after an open beta that began back in 2017. The game is a free-to-play digital collectible card game designed around a loot box style microtransaction system. Although based around the cards themselves, the game incorporated many of the characters from the main trilogy, including some new characters. CD Projekt Red also backed up their desire to stay within the Witcher world by adding a fully fledged single-player component named Thronebreaker: The Witcher Tales, which released alongside the main game in Q4 of 2018. Thronebreaker is an isometric RPG with the card-based gameplay embedded within it. Gwent and Thronebreaker didn't hit the heights of the main game, but it links back to the idea that CD Projekt Red aren't stepping away from the world just yet. This has been further solidified by the fact that news broke recently of CD Projekt Red coming to terms over a new rights deal with Sapkowski to continue their work on the Witcher franchise, even after their relationship had soured previously. Now the other path we need to tread is regards to the ending, or should I say endings, of The Witcher 3. One of the greatest strengths of The Witcher 3 is how masterfully CD Projekt Red created scenarios where your choices significantly impacted the outcome of your playthrough. The arcs of multiple main secondary characters are impacted by your choices, but for this video we are going to focus on our 4 main characters of Geralt, Ciri, Triss and Yennefer. The Witcher 3 offers multiple endings for each character, mainly Ciri and Geralt. With regards to Ciri, you can end up with 3 different endings. Ciri can end up as Empress of the Nilfgaardian Empire after being returned to Emir var Emrys in Vizima. Ciri can end up dying after travelling through the portal to stop the White Frost, or in my playthrough, Ciri ends up as a Witcher wandering the continent alongside Geralt. Now, Geralt's endings are tied somewhat more to romance and how you try to woo your way to the hearts of different women in the game, specifically Triss and Yennefer. If you successfully woo Triss over Yennefer, you will end up with Triss. If the opposite happens, if you are successful at wooing Yen instead of Triss, then you will end up with Yen. However, if you get a little greedy and try to play both of them, then you will rightfully end up with no one and you will be left to wander rather as a lonely Witcher. Now, the reasons why these endings are important to the potential of a Witcher 4 is that, well, that there's really a definitive end, regardless of your choices. CD Projekt Red have made Geralt's arc feel as a full circle, and that there may not be another chapter for the White Wolf. This is further solidified with the narrative ending of the Blood and Wine expansion. At the end of Blood and Wine, Geralt sets up a home at a vineyard in the Duchy of Toussaint, and depending on your ending in the main game, he is joined by either Ciri, Triss or Yen. Now, CD Projekt Red have taken players' narrative choices seriously and are not ones for turning back on what they have allowed players to create. This is also evidenced by the link between The Witcher 2 and The Witcher 3. In a side quest in The Witcher 3, you have the opportunity to recruit a previous main character depending on your choices in The Witcher 2. If you completed The Witcher 2, you were left with a choice of killing or sparing Letho, the Witcher assassin. If you killed Letho or didn't finish The Witcher 2 main quest, then he will not appear. However, if you spared him, then he will return and you will have the opportunity to recruit him to your side to fight against the Wild Hunt at Kaer Morhen. To conclude, it is very possible that we could see another massive AAA RPG from CD Projekt Red set in the Witcher universe. There is clearly an appetite for the developers to return to an incredibly deep and diverse world that they have built for the last 12 years. However, the likelihood of us returning to a game with Geralt seems somewhat of a long shot. The book may have finally closed on Geralt's story in the gaming world, but he will continue to live on in your TV as the Netflix series drops and hopefully continues for many years to come. We will have to wait and see if we get any news of a new Witcher game after Cyberpunk 2077 releases in the spring. Here's hoping we do, and we don't have to wait too long. Well, squad, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, then please make sure you leave a like, you head over to InstallationX and subscribe, and you hit that bell for notifications. Don't forget to let me know your thoughts on whether we're going to see a Witcher 4 in the comments down below. Don't forget to follow the channel on social media down in the description below. And as always, I'm Sykes, and for all things Xbox, stay tuned to InstallationX. Bye, guys.